Hey guys, welcome back to SFDC Panther. This is Amit on behalf of SFDC Panther. So, from today onwards, we are going to start Lightning Web Components. Related to that, I've already published two videos on that note. Let's see what are all the prerequisites that is required, and the video is already there available. So, in order to work with web components, you have to install VS Code. And then inside VS Code, you need to install Salesforce extension pack, then Lightning Web Components, which is in preview mode. And then you have to install Salesforce CLI, the command line interface. And then for creating the project, you can just start with the command Control plus Shift plus P. After that, you can authorize a dev hub org that will be Spring 19 pre-release org. And then you can create a scratch org after enabling the dev hub org in your authorized DevHop, and then you can start the development. These are all we already had in our previous videos. You can go ahead, if you haven't already done, you can go ahead with the video and you will get all the steps and all the required parameters that you need to done. And then we already covered this particular day one, that is what are all the web components, what is LWC, that is a methodology, a programming model which is used to develop the Lightning component and with the help of all the top industry standard methods. And then we also saw how this particular web components it's differentiating with the Aura framework. And then we also saw the folder structure of our Lightning web component where we have 5 files, which one are like HTML, JavaScript, XML, CSS, and SVG. And then we also saw the decorators, how we can create the variables, public variables and private variables. And then we also created the components and the hello world components and all that. So today what we are going to do is we are going to see how we can implement if condition and the logical part of like we can say that how we can show and hide the particular section or particular whatever the information that we wanted to show based on conditional highlighting based on if statement, and then also see how we can iterate through a particular list in web components, and we'll also see what is the new way how we can use the web components the map in web components. And then we'll also see to call the fx methods from web components with the help of two ways. There are wire decorator method, and then we have imperative method. Imperative method means we can call on the change of any input field, or we can call on the click of button. So let's go ahead. And this is the Visual Force project, Visual Studio Code project that I set up. So let's go ahead and create a web component. So before creating web components and doing all these activities, you need to configure this Visual Studio Code for your use. And for this you can refer my earlier videos. I'm just going to create a component and I'll name it as decorators demo, or we can say that logical, we can say that logical LWC demo. So while naming the LWC, you need to follow the lower camel case process. When we say that lower camel case process, that means first letter of the component will be always small, and then every word, the first letter of every word will be as in capital. So why this is because JavaScript is in case sensitive, and once if you create your component in upper camel case and you are going to use that component inside another component, you'll get an compilation error. So as you can see that we have successfully created. Now what we need to do is as we already familiar with decorators, so I'm going to create some parameter. Let's say that I'm going to create a parameter that is greeting, and say that welcome Amit. And then inside my HTML file, I'm going to create a lightning card. For title, I can say that logical operations, and I can also use icon. So I'm going to use some custom random. I can say that custom 9, and inside that I'm going to use lightning layout. So as we already familiar with the lightning component and the lightning base component and tag, so I'm not going to explain this all because these are already there in while we are working with the Aura component, Aura frameworks. Inside the lightning layout, we need to use lightning layout item, and I'm going to give it padding as around small. Okay, so here in this I'm going to use whatever my variable name is greeting. So if I push this, before pushing this we need to make changes some in XML file. So first what we need to do is we need to make sure that this particular component is available in Lightning App Builders, and then we need to define the targets where we wanted to make this particular component available. So as of now I'm just going to make this available for only Lightning App page. That's it. The name is different here. It will throw and compile as an okay. So you can also define here for communities, for record page, for home page. So we just need to go ahead and open our default org, and then after we are going to push this code into our org so that we can see that we are able to see this particular greeting. So I'll also create one more layout, and this layout will be based on the based on the condition that we are going to use if condition. So if you remember, while we are working with framework Aura, then we are using Aura if, and as here we are working with top industry standards where we have our own template. We only need to use here template, and then you can, if you type if, you will get two conditions: if true, if false. So you can select if true, and here we are going to use another variable that I'm going to use as message. That's it. I'm going to use as message, and here I'll check if there is some value in message, then only display this particular layout. And here in layout I wanted to display whatever the message is there. So what it will do, it will check if there is some valid value, there is value in this particular variable, then it will only display this particular layout item, otherwise it will not display. So let's push the code to the source org, and after adding this particular component in our application, we will be able to see what we have developed and what is the use of template if. So here you can see we are not able to post because we have some error here. So it's LIGST. Okay, it's lightning. Now we'll try again. You can see that if there is any error, it will give you the error message, and it's saying that lightning It's not a valid target. That means we cannot give any name as of our choice. Yep. Now we are able to successfully post that code. So let's go ahead into our org. As for the demo purpose, I have created the application LWC recipes. So I'll be using this application throughout our sessions. I will be just editing the page and will adding that particular component. In the meanwhile, it's loading. Let me tell you one more thing is about metadata file. There is a tag called master label. Whatever the name you will give here, this name particular name will be displayed on the Lightning App Builder instead of the name of the component. Let's say that I'm just giving here if for demo, and once I'll push this first, let me, yep, before showing that, let me push this code as well there in the org. So instead of logical LWC demo, you can see here we are able to see logical LWC demo, the name of the component that we developed. But after successfully push this, now if I go ahead and refresh the page, I will able to see that if for demo instead of logical LWC demo. And then as it's refreshing, in the meantime we can just go ahead and create some variables. We can say that contacts, and then we can create contacts inside that as a list. I will say that oops, any ID, and then I'll put name parameter here. I can say that Amit Singh. I will name it as Ankit Singh, and then the other one I will name it as Anuj Singh. So let's go ahead here, and now if you need to find if for demo, and then you need to drag and drop, and you will able to see here welcome Amit, and you are not able to see, and you are not allowed to see that particular the other layout item that we added because we haven't provided any value to the message attribute. You can see here. Now what we are going to do is we are going to provide the value for message as well. So we will see that LWC methodology, and we are also going to use this particular variable. We are going to display the value for we are going to iterate through this list, and then we'll display the information for ID and name. So let's go ahead here, and we are going to use after br element, we can say that we are going to use another lightning layout item. And here same thing, we need to use template, and then as in Aura we are using iteration, here we need to type for, and here you will see for each, for index, and for item. So here we need to do is for each, and inside for each we need to give our variable name, whatever the variable name is here, and then for item means whatever the variable for the item is, let's say that contact, And then you can also for index, index is index where you can say that index, let's say that if you have three contacts, index is always start from 0. So we can use here, let's say that inside p I'm going to use index here, because we already whether okay, it will always require a key attribute whenever we are working with for each, we need to provide the key attribute. So we can just say that key is a unique attribute. We can say that contact, oops, contact dot id, and then you can see here index, and then we can go ahead with let's say that we wanted to display contact name. We can just go ahead and contact dot name, and we can also display contact id. Here we can just break, and then we can display here contact id. Okay, so here what we did, we just use the parameter, we just use the list that we created manually here in our JavaScript, and then we iterated through that list. We stored each and every item, each item of the list in this variable called contact, and we also given the index for that particular variable. So now let's go ahead and push the source code to the org, and then after that we will be able to see the message as well as the contact, the details, whatever the details we are doing here. So we are successfully able to post the code here. You can see we are able to see the index 0, 1, 2, and then whatever the name and ID we provided from the backend. And you can also see we are able to see the LWC methodology that we passed from the backend from the JavaScript. So this is how you can use for each, how you can iterate with the list of items, how you can use conditional show and hide of a particular element or a particular attribute, a particular value in your web component. And next thing is how we can use map in our web component. The implementation is same as Aura component or a framework, but there is a small change that we need to do. So before doing that, we are going to create a Apex class, and then after that we will, because from Apex class we will return that particular map from the Apex class. So it will, what it will let us use call the Apex class from the JavaScript, and then it will also help us how to use map, how we can iterate through the map in the JavaScript, and then display the values in our web component. So let's create, you can say that utility class, iterate. Okay, are we able to? Okay, it seems to be slow. So let's try it again. This class, utility class, and it should ask for the location. Here we go. We need to use classes, and after it will create, we will be able to see that, and then we'll go ahead and create a method. You can see that we are successfully able to. So now let's go ahead and create a method. We will see aura enabled. It will be public static. We are going to return map. You can say that string and integer, and method name will be map demo. You can say that this, and then here we just need to return, or we can create a map. String integer, we can say name it as test map. And we need to put some value here. You can say that 1, and here we'll say that Amit Singh, Ankit, Anas, Arun, and here I'll need 2, 3, and 4, and then I'll return this map. Okay, so now for calling this fs class from LWC is very easy. You can go ahead with var method, or you can go ahead with imperative method. So here first we are going to use var method, and then we'll go with the imperative method. So here we just need to type @var, and once you will type here var, you need to import that var here as well. So if you select var from the suggestions that are coming below, it will automatically import that var here, and then you can just, before this, what you need to do is you need to import the method from apex class. So you just need to type import, and you need to type the method name. So what is the method name? This is map demo, then from single quotes you can just type @Salesforce. You will see that here you can see apex class, whatever apex, and then what is the name of the apex class and what is the method, and then you need to type here semicolon. Now you can just type here map demo, and here you can say that maps, or you can say that records. So in this records you will get the map, and now what you need to do is you just need to okay for, forget about the other thing. I'm just going to show you on the console. So to display the console, as we know that we cannot directly console here, so we need to put a comment here that is ESLint disable and no console, and then after we can console. Okay, what is errors? Okay, here we need to use this dot records. Why is this? And now let's go ahead in our HTML5, HTML file, and then create one more lightning item, a lightning layout item. and then we are going to use template if true records, then display I have some values. Okay, so let me go ahead here in this class as well, sorry, JavaScript as well. So for calling the Apex class, it's very easy. You can just import the method with the help of Salesforce Apex, or you can also we have different Salesforce modules that you can find here in component library. So let me show you. Let me go ahead and I will show you what are different Salesforce modules available, like for calling the labels, static resources, and for getting the object name, object API name, and then all we have. So if you click on this particular developer guide tab, from the tab you just need to go to the references, and then from the references you will get here add Salesforce module. So now if you click on add Salesforce module, you will get how to call Apex class from add Salesforce. You will get how to call, I'm not sure what is this, how to get the custom labels, how to get the static resource, and then how we can interact with the schema, that means for getting the object information and then getting the object field information as well, how to get the current user information with the help of that Salesforce modules. So this is all. So let's go ahead and post this code, and then after we will call the same method with the help of imperative apex, and then after calling that method from the imperative way, we will display manipulate the records of the map, and then we'll also display. So we have some error here. It said that put string is string, so it's integer. Okay, no worries. I'm going to name it as 1 2 3 4. Try again. This time we should be able to. You can see. Now let's go ahead, this page, and see what we are able to get here. We are only able to get that. Well, let's inspect. We haven't here, so I'm going to create one more method that is written just a string, and we'll say that test method. I will name it as test name. Return test string. And this is because I just wanted to show you that we are able to successfully able to call the method. So import method name from and let's call this test name and then name it as record. Now I'm going to, what the error is here, map demo is defined but never used. Okay, You can see if we have defined something and we are not using, we are also getting the error. So let's comment this. Now push the code, and after pushing that code we should be able to see the value that we have there. I have some value because we are putting some logical condition on records. Okay, yep, you can see that I have some values. That means we are successfully able to call the apex method using wire decorators. So now what if you wanted to like if you have some error in apex class? In this case we are not able to get any error. So for that one, what we need to do is you can just need wire test method, and you can just go ahead and you can create any method. Like you can say that wire data, and then here you can just use error or data, and then here it will we can check if data, then you can use like you can assign a variable, and then if error. So let's say that we are going to create here the variable and the same variable, and that is records, and then inside records here we are going to use this not records, and then in this variable we are going to use whatever the assign is here, and for error we are going to create one more attribute, that is error, and then here we will assign that error, this dot error equal to error. So here you can see to handle the error we can just create a method of our choice. You can just name it as wire contact, and then here it takes two parameters, that is error and data, and then here you can just, if there is data, you can store that data in records, and then if there is any error you can store that error in error variable. Now let's push the source code again and the updated code that we did, and then check what we are able to see there. And in the meantime, as it's being pushed, let's create an apex button, sorry, lightning button, so that we can prepare the demo for imperative method. So here lightning button, and I'll say that label is at call apex, and then we'll on click. As you know that for calling the apex for calling the variables or method, we just need to put the name of variable or method inside curly braces. We don't need to define any action provider or value provider here, so I'm just clicking as handle click, and then I'll give one more, that is variant. I'll give it as brand. We'll put the logic later on. Let's see what we are able to get here as output. Okay, we are not getting anything here. Let's go ahead and cross check it again. We are calling test name. Okay, error and data, this dot records, we are passing the data here, and error. Let's comment this, and then we will put the console here as well. why this is okay. Okay, cool. There was a typo mistake. So here, if you will, let's go ahead and see what we are getting here in the debug. There might be we are getting some error, and here in HTML we are using rewards, right? Cool. I believe we'll get error because of this on click method. Okay, no, we are not getting. Let's go ahead and refresh the page. We are able to get callbacks, but we are not able to. We are getting undefined. But for which we are getting undefined, I think here in data we are getting undefined. Let's see where we are getting the debug in undefined here for the records, and we are also going to let's debug this data, what data we are getting from the backend, and we also need to implement the method for handle click. So let's go ahead and we just need to how to create a method here. We just need to go ahead, name that method handle click, that's it. So as now we need to call the method here, so what we need to do is the method name is here, we can say that map demo. So here we need to call the method is map demo, and we have then what is the then takes one parameter as a method here, and then we also have catches for error, so it will take the error here. So here inside error what we'll do, this dot error, if there is any error we are going to use this dot error and then assign that whatever the error is there in this variable. And then if we have result, and that means we're getting the data, so what we are going to use is this. Okay, we just going to console.log, and then after as we are returning map here, so we need to manipulate some data to display that here in web component. So here you can see, and this is now let's go ahead and post that same. Oops, what it did. Okay, here you can see that we have successfully post the code. Okay, we are getting some errors here while calling the method. We will look into this, but let's click on this button, call apex, and you can see that we are able to get the map here. Whatever the value we are passing from apex class, we are getting here in JavaScript controller. So let's go ahead and debug this. Why we are getting this error while calling with the wire method. Okay, I've contact list. You can just check. Okay, this is same. Let me copy this and I will paste the same here, and then will be records instead of contacts. Then we are getting the error because of I have removed that comment. So let's add that comment ESLint disable no console. Okay, cool. Now as here we are getting able to get that, we can say that and just create a constant variable here. I will say name it as options, and as you know that what we need to do is we need to put for, and we were using let key in, and what are the values maps. And here what we need to do is we need to check if we have value in key, then we need to use options dot push, and in this key what we need to do is we can put it just key, and then in value we need to push result and then key. So this is the same that we were doing in Aura. The only difference is there. Here if you are using key in, we have to use a if condition here inside that for loop. This is why we are checking if there is any value or valid value in key, then only push that. But again, now we can just go ahead and put one more console.log here, and that we can see that options, and we can also create one more variable that we can say that maps here, and then inside that maps we can assign that those options here. We can say that this dot maps, and then assign those value here, whatever the options we have created here. Now let's push this, and then after successful push, after seeing the output, we will display the map in our component. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is it's successfully pushed. I'm going to comment this particular section. Okay, so I haven't pushed the code, so this will be displayed here. I just wanted to see if that wire method is working fine, and then we're not able to get any kind of information here, but we are able to get the map and the option whatever we did here. Okay, what is wrong with wire method? I'll explain you this later. So let's go ahead and iterate with this map in our component. So here in, okay, let's use this inside this attribute. We are going to remove these conditions. I'm going to use lightning layout item here. Padding will be same for all. And then here we just need to use template, and then for each, and then here you need to use your collection variable that we created, and then for item, then item, and here you just need to display, sorry, it's for item not index. Here we need to display item dot key, whatever key is there, and then item dot value. So doing this, you can use you can display this map here, display the map component and display the data of a map here in web components the same way that we are using in Aura. The only difference is that the if statement inside key in whatever the map is there. So we are successfully able to post the code and go back here. Now we should be able to, okay, here we can see what we are able to get here. Okay, you can see Amit Singh 1, Ankit Singh 2, Anuj Singh 3 and Arun Singh 4, whatever the value we gave there. You can just put ampersand and BSP for giving the space. Okay, so here we are getting the error message in the error message because we are not getting any errors and we are also not getting any data. Okay, let's go ahead and see this if that works. We're not able to see, but we are able to see the apex here. So let's make it cacheable. There might be something issue with the cache. But I'm not sure that if this is the issue or not. But here it's records. We are also using maps. It's a work. What we did in the years. Same thing. Let's try by pushing this once and we will see if you are able to get the data because of making the changes in the FS class. If you're not, then I'll look into this and then we'll see what is the main issue and we'll show you. Yep, now you can see that we are able to see that was issue with some cacheable element. So we need to make our method as cacheable equal to cacheable is true. So here now we are able to see and you can see that we are also able to see that particular map iteration over here as well. So this is how we can use logical statements like if, and then we can also use iteration with the help of our collection of values, and then we saw how we can use maps, and then we also call the apex method with the help of these two ways, wire method and imperative way. So thank you guys for taking the time out for watching the video, and you might having some questions regarding all these web components and all that, please come up with the comment section, or you can also email me on my email sfdcpanther@gmail.com. So we'll see you on next video. Thank you guys.